Taking a look at the Forex markets right now and what's happening on that front. We're going to get some of the crosses up there. There's the dollar yen. We're at 92.68. Quite a bit of movement there with the dollar appreciating against the Japanese yen. The yen's a safe haven currency, and obviously investors are feeling a bit more confident given some of the economic data we've been getting. Euro US dollar, we're down 0.3%. And there's euro Japanese yen. The euro down against the Japanese unit as well. 124.59 is where we stand right now. Mario Singh is co-founder and CEO at FX1 Academy. He joins us now live from our Asian headquarters. Good to see you today, Mario. Thanks for coming in. What's with the euro? Why didn't the currency rally more when we got the news of a bailout for Greece?
Well, for a start, I feel it was great that the whole saga on Greece is now over. On a trading perspective, I felt that it wasn't something that was great for the traders because it was a whole mixture of the IMF getting involved, and it was a mixture of the bilateral loans of the Eurozone coming in. So while it wasn't a great move, I guess, for traders, it was probably the best move in terms of economics, in terms of political agendas. So I think that's the reason why we saw muted gains in the euro. It wasn't something that really rallied the whole euro.
So this level that we're seeing in the euro, it's not a reflection of fundamentals in your opinion?
It is not at this point because our traders are still trying to digest all the news. I would feel a break above 136 was something that traders will be looking for before they were starting to go long on the euro. At this point, it is still massive short positions on the euro because traders at this point still are not really particularly excited about what has been coming out of Greece.
Mario, it's Anna in London. So sticking with the euro dollar, if we get a strong number on the employment report on Friday, and even if nothing happens on the euro story and the Greece story in the meantime, which seems unlikely, of course, then it seems that the dollar just goes higher from here, does it?
I agree with that, and I still feel that the whole market sentiment for this week is still going to be very positive for dollar bulls. I'm just a little bit cautious right now. For Friday's numbers, while we had 36,000 shedding of jobs in February for the NFP, for the non-farm payrolls, and expectations are so high, economists are predicting about 190,000 jobs were added on Friday. I'm just a little bit cautious because at this point, what I do notice that while there will be a significant increase in number of jobs that were created in the US, what is happening is that this little thing called the census, where the US have hired lots, literally thousands and thousands of temporary workers to be helping them in their in many job scopes in terms of where the government has been hiring. So I'm just a little bit cautious, but at this point, again, it's all about market sentiment. I do still feel that the dollar yen in particular will be heading up, going towards the NFP on Friday.
What about the comments we've seen out of the RBA over the last 24 hours, Mario? Yet more commentary coming through about how rates are not quite back to where they should be. What are you expecting there?
Well, from Governor Glenn Stevens on the RBA, some of his comments has really kind of rattled a little bit of the traders' sentiments in the commodities market, which is why we did see a little bit of profit taking of the Aussie, the Kiwi, and the Loonie. So the commodity currencies, I still feel, will be heading a bit lower for this week as traders are starting to take profit, as traders are weighing in. I feel that this whole week in particular will be something like a transition as traders are weighing in terms of Asian currencies. They're all heading downwards. Commodity currencies are heading downwards. So people, well, traders at least, on my stand also, we are all watching to see how news will be playing out for this whole week.
What's your feel on the US dollar? Is it still a safe haven currency because it's been doing incredibly well with the improving data we've been getting globally, but the Japanese yen is sort of dropping a bit?
Well, yes, this is a great point, Lisa. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about the Japanese yen. We've had massive news, great news, in fact, for the economy of Japan over the last 1 to 2 weeks. We look at retail sales, it's up 4.2%, which is their fastest growth in a decade. We've seen exports as literally being up, which is the fastest growth in, I think, 30 years. So all this is good news for the Japanese yen, but because of how the play of the dollar and the yen is coming about, it will tend to weaken the yen, which is why my stand for this week, I still feel the dollar yen heading up.
Are you concerned, from a Forex perspective, are you concerned about the debt overhang in the U.S.? There's been so much talk about sovereign risk, et cetera. We've got 10-year Treasury notes in the United States yielding 3.92%. One of our guests earlier said, this is not a blip, it's the beginning of a sell-off in the U.S. Treasury market. How will that play out with currencies?
Well, that is a great question. I could probably talk 2 hours on that question. But yes, I am definitely concerned in terms of the massive debt that the U.S. has gotten themselves into. Again, on this point, on the currency aspect, on a long term, I still feel that the dollar will hit downwards. But on a short-term perspective, because of the downplay of the safe haven currency and the good economic data that's coming out, the U.S. dollar bulls will be having a field day for this whole week.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mario. Great to have you on the show, as always. That was Mario Singh, co-founder and CEO of FX1 Academy.